Annelise, Nielsen, let's move on to AUKUS. You were there when Albanese stood alongside Biden and Sunak today. There were many other dignitaries in the crowd as well. We saw Kurt Campbell, we saw the US Secretary of Defence Lloyd Austin, the new US Ambassador to Australia, Caroline Kennedy, who of course is the daughter of John F. Kennedy. What was it like on the ground? What was the atmosphere like? Was there a sense that this is really a very significant moment and investment, not just for Australia, but for the United States and Britain as well?
Absolutely. There was a sense that it was quite orchestrated. This was a moment that they did want to make for TV. The fact they brought the submarine in from Pearl Harbor, so there was that visual. You had quite a almost breathtaking moment when you had all the sailors coming out, standing to attention for their commander-in-chief. And I mean, as much as you can say that's a manufactured moment, it's manufactured for a reason. And to have three different nations, the United Kingdom, the United States and Australia, come together for an announcement of this significance, it is a big moment because it shows that this is the next step in the US trying to maintain some kind of influence in the Indo-Pacific. And this is really important, not just in a security sense, but a trade sense as well. We saw how disrupted supply chains came undone so easily during the pandemic. That is the big fear. If there's any kind of aggression from China to move into that space, we could be facing a catastrophe that makes this banking crisis look pretty minute. And to see that the US is putting this show on, it is a big statement. And the big statement, of course, from the Australian side is how much money we're putting down. This is a huge investment on our part.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk to Andrew Hastings in a moment about how we're going to fund that. But just very quickly, Annelise, before you go, China is obviously the undercurrent to the AUKUS announcement today. You've mentioned in the past couple of days that when Australia first raised the prospect of nuclear-powered subs several years ago, the idea was kind of laughed off in the United States. Do you get the sense here that the US was too slow to recognise the extent of the threat China posed in the Indo-Pacific?
I think the US has been quite on top of how serious a threat the US is. I think that, how serious a threat China is in a security sense. I think that was counterbalanced really strongly with how much economic benefit they were receiving from China at the time, and that there was this focus on free trade. I think one of the reasons that Australia was kind of laughed off was that we weren't taken seriously around being able to take control of something as serious as nuclear propulsion technology. We're not being given nukes here, but we are being given some pretty sensitive technology that goes to the heart of just how powerful the US is as a superpower. And so what's escalated in this time is that we've shown that we can be trusted in that sense. We've shown that we can be sophisticated technological actors. And I think also just how Australia has conducted itself during the pandemic, that we have been strong advocates of rules-based order, all that kind of thing has been heard quite clearly in the United States.
Yeah. Annelise, Nielsen, thank you very much for staying up so late to chat to us and bring us that news.